Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to I'll Go Do tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 3-year anniversary show. Not to the day. We're a few days late because we're Marble guys, so it has to be a few days late for it to even make any sense. Shit. My name is Brendan, Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. Welcome. And now wrap your head around that one, Walt. Wrap your head around that shit, okay?
And I'm Commander Marble Sports Worldwide. Yeah, sure.
Oh, that is the perfect way to entrance, we'll say, this podcast. This is the 3 years. This is the 3 years. This is the marker that tells you guys that we have to legitimately be doing this for most of the weeks of the last 3 years. Let's calculate how many weeks we've missed. 52 weeks in a year, times 3, that gives us 156. See how I did that math quick? Come on. And 156, and this is episode 124. So we did miss a bunch of weeks, but I mean, not that many weeks. Obviously spread over 3 years. I think, what would that be?
52, 156.
56 minus 24. That would be 20. No, 5 minus 2 is 3. So 32 weeks we missed. We missed a half a year's worth. Oh, because we did take some breaks. I will say it's not 32, it's 31. Because one of the episodes had a part 2 there. 11B, 11A and B.
11A and B, and then the 100 episode special was also a 2-parter.
Oh, so it's actually 30 weeks there. If you listen to one recording per week. Anyways, this is the 3 years. So we have one thing to mention Marble Sports wise because we have some upcoming news, and then we're just going to talk about what we think about the last 3 years, where we think Marble Sports is really going. That's the overarching theme question for today. Where is Marble Sports really going? We've talked about where we think it's going short term. We talked about where we want it to go, and we can also talk about that today as well. But where is this sport really going? Because honestly, if you only take data from the last 6 months, it's going absolutely nowhere. It's going backwards. If you take data from the first few years, it's going to the moon. Obviously, it's not going to the moon, and obviously, I don't think it's going backwards. Those aren't realistic answers. So it's somewhere in between. So we have to find that in between today on the show, and through that, discuss what we really enjoyed about these 3 years, which are 3 amazing years. I'm gonna soapbox a little bit about my life experience and how it's surrounded this show as we when we get further on in the episode. So please stay tuned. This one, you gotta stay tuned. You gotta, because this is wow, that spiked in my audio. Whatever I just said, you gotta stay tuned for this one. I think you're gonna enjoy it. I certainly am, because I've been doing this for 3 years. That's a lot of years to be doing something. That's a lot of years. That is a lot of years to be doing something, Mr. Wop. 3 full years.
Anything.
With this was a thing. Come on. All right? Anyways.
Yeah, man, it's so crazy.
Let's start by just getting to the little bit of Marble Sports we have for today. For people who are like, hey, this is a Marble Sports podcast. Where's Marble Sports news? Well, here it is right now. Ready? Come on. All right, on the Chrome. We got pictures.
That's really green grass. That is really green.
You mean that's not grass? That's like just a green screen kind of background, I think.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be? Cause, okay, that makes more sense because it's so bright.
You thought it was like felt? I mean, it might be very thin.
Okay, it's in my the screen again. To remind you, it's in my bottom left corner down here. So like it's a distance away from me, so I can't. It's hard for me to kind of make it out.
It looks like a green screen more. But we have sneak peek pictures. He has, of course, JMR posting saying Are you ready for the Are you ready for the Marbula 1? Sure, JMR. Never improved at the grammar, did we? Only 10 days to go. Exciting. It is exciting. But yeah, Marbula 1 is coming up. And they gave a little picture sneak peek for what's to come here. I think apparently we already know what teams are going to be in. Is that true? We already know what teams are going to be in?
The pit lane, I think you can actually see it in that shot there, so you can see all the teams are going to be there.
Oh, wait, I'd have to zoom in on this, though. Let's see if I can open this in a new tab. And then, like, zoom in.
Eju sent a zoomed-in photo in one of our channels.
Well, you know what? Let's shout out Edu on this anniversary show, because he's been so good with helping us actually have useful news and things like that. He's been really useful. I'm gonna see if I can get that. Oh God. Where did he post it?
JMR spoilers.
JMR spoilers.
It is very hard to see it, but like their logo is probably the best way to make it out.
Let's see if we can even see. No, yeah, I can't see from this one very easy either.
Yeah, look at the logos beneath him, and you might be able to figure it out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's not clear to me.
Far left, I can't tell you. I know that. So I can see Savage Speeders is the second from left.
Yeah.
Wait,
Green Ducks?
No, I think Green Ducks. That could be Green Ducks? I think it's Green Ducks, yeah.
Might be Noxious Ivy. I don't know.
Wait,
Jungle Jumpers?
It's just so hard.
Yeah, I would need someone to kind of clarify that. There's like a dark one. I think that's Purple Rockets. I don't know. I think Purple Rockets are in this. Is that them? I don't know. That's really hard to see. I can't actually tell. But apparently, according to Adu, there's no... the Turtle Sliders will be in this one, and the Raspberry Racer and the Snowballs are nowhere to be found. I guess that's true. It's kind of hard to see. So, but I do see there's no like bright white marble. So I guess the Snowballs definitely won't be in this one. And I don't necessarily see the Raspberry Races. No pink. So yeah, that's the first of the sneak peek. If I had more time, I could like try to go through and actually see them, but it really is tough to see. I will leave that to you guys. It's on the Twitter. It's like a recent post.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Savage Speeders. I think that's the Green Ducks. I can't tell. Then there's
Indigo
Momo.
Stars, Momo, probably Mellow Yellow. I can see Mellow
Team
Yellow.
Galactic.
I can see Mellow Yellow. Mellow Yellow is definitely here.
Is that Oceanics next to Team Galactic there?
In
between Midnight Wisps and Team Galactic?
I see Wisps. I see O-Rangers. I see... Actually, zoomed out, it's almost a little easier because you can get the logo shapes better read. I see Yeah, that's definitely Oceanics. That's definitely Galactique. Primary, I would say. No, that's not Primary. What is the one right to the left of Galactic?
Looks like a blue marble, like on the
right
stand
to the left
there.
of Galactic. It looks like a yellow... What is that?
Thunderbolts.
Oh, Thunderbolts. I think that... There might be some new teams in this one. I don't know. It's hard to see on the right side and the left side, but the middles are kind of easy to pull out.
I mean,
I think Strix's. Is that Strix's right beside Mellow Yellow? Or is that Primary? That might be Primary.
That might be That might be Prime. I don't know.
Primary.
I definitely don't see that the classic raspberry color. And there's no pure white one. I don't think so. I don't think the Snowballs are here either.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
No, that's what Edu said. But yeah, you can go look at him, try to figure out the rest of the teams if that floats your boat there. But honestly, it's not the end of the world. We'll find out soon, and I'm sure it will be just as exciting to talk about that. Rangers track looks pretty good. You have the sand section. I wish they kind of had 2 sand sections and really kind of overdid the theme a little bit, but that's just how they are. So, that is what it is. But it's all right, honestly. I like the O Raceway a lot, so this should be a fun course. I like how it has a little overpass there, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, that's basically that sneak peek.
It looks like the O Raceway.
Yeah, obviously as a sand section. The other courses don't do that. So we're gonna flip to the next one. What is this? What is this next picture with the mountain? Hazer's Cave? What is this Hazer's
Cave?
Look at the next thing. It has hazers on it.
Huh.
Next picture on Twitter.
I know, like, in lore, like, that the mountain is supposed to be, like, a closely guarded secret. Like, even though athletes, like, had to be blindfolded and, like when they were on their way to the track last year.
Really?
So maybe we get to see more of the hidden secrets of the hazers.
Oh, this must be from that track then, the hazer course. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It looks pretty cool. They actually looks like they have some real rocks there, which is kind of nice. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, that's just a little sneak peek. Next one, just another look at the Hazer Cave. I guess they're really working on this track. It's going to be early on, I'd say. You have some light on the little cave mountain thing, whatnot. Wait, if they race this course like this, like more in the dark, that would be really fun. Like a nighttime race, I would really be alongside that because it looks like they're trying to add some lighting for a reason. So I would actually really appreciate that. Might be hard to see the marbles, but if they work the lighting correctly, it could be really fun.
Yeah, they need to light the track well enough.
And then lastly, 3 giant orange balls. I mean, I don't think those are our Rangers because if you go out to the first picture, I don't like those are big. Those are big orange balls. So I don't really know what they're going for there. Do you get any sense of that? Waft there.
The only thing I can think of is the Neo Rangers, but I don't see a Neo Raceway shot, do you?
Yeah, I do. It's literally on the right there. You can't miss them. They're huge.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see them now. I have pulled my phone now finally, so I can see better.
Maybe that's just like monuments to the Rangers, so they're big, but it's not the actual Rangers.
Yeah, that's the question. Are these meant to be statues of like the racers and the coach, or like the fruit orange?
Oh, that's true. That's a great point. I never thought. Probably the racers and the coach, because narcissists. No, probably the Ranger community wants to celebrate the racers and the coach because that's why this is even a thing. So I would say racers and coach, probably not oranges. I mean, like, do you think Rangers actually eat oranges?
I mean, I can't remember. I don't know if you read their lore yet, but I don't know if maybe I think the Rangers do have an orange farm. I think they do.
Of course they do. Of course. Yeah, but that's basically the sneak peek. It's nothing crazy. It's just some pictures of the work in progress. We've seen Marbula 1 before, so there's not as much to read into or speculate on because we know what Marbula 1 is. I just want to see a good Marbula 1. I want to see them continue to be creative on track. I want to see them bring Marble Maniacs creativity to Marbula 1. I want to see some exciting racing. Cat's Eyes, obviously, going to be in this year. That's not to worry about. And they're going to come out strong. So obviously when we actually find out about teams and we get towards actually picking fantasy, we will be talking about Cat's Eyes. We'll be talking about Mellow Yellow because they came off a nice win in Marble League. We're going to be talking about other teams like Galactic and Savage Speeders for sure. Those will all come around when we get some more information regarding this season, which will be next episode basically because it's 10 days out to the start. And this we'll get one more episode in before all that. So, in the meantime,
Nordic Whaler confirmed. Their farm is called the O Marbles Farm.
O Marbles, silly, but it's good. It's good for the community, Dan.
I love that stuff. That's so fun.
No, yeah, it adds a lot. It adds a lot when you get to have that sort of silliness.
That brings up a new question. How big are these oranges? Like in this marble world, we in the lore images I've seen, like the marbles are like human size, like they're inside buildings and stuff, and they fly in planes. So maybe they're like human, like in this world, like these racers are human sized.
I don't know. Maybe the buildings are marble size. You don't
that
know.
Too, I guess. So maybe the fruits are actually like their normal size.
Let me answer that question factually. JMR quantifies the types of marbles that can race in their tournaments by millimeter. So in that case, if they say only 16 millimeter marbles can race in Marble League, then lore regarding teams from Marble League is lore regarding 16 millimeter marbles. And millimeters are millimeters. So, I mean, what are you going to do about that? So I think they're millimeters and everything's kind of them size. I don't know how big this planet is. It's probably like, I don't know. It's not my problem.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same size as ours because like the continents are all there, just have different country names. But you're right, like
and they can fit a lot more stuff, I guess, on there.
In extreme diving, like Greg mentioned, like how it's like something meters tall, the tallest known tower in the Marvel universe. So in their universe, yeah, meters is what they go by. So I guess
bananas for them.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe the Hazers and Orangers are competing. Eliezer live chat person says. Yeah, probably. I mean, most likely. How would they not be? They both have courses in the Marbula 1, and well, they're both good teams for Marbula 1. Relatively, but I mean, everyone knows them. Yeah, you can't see any of the teams very well. All right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
The show. When did the show debut? Now let's go back. This is anniversary time. We've talked about the news. Let's talk about it. Let's go to Chrome. Let's go to SoundCloud.
I'm pretty sure all those episodes are gone, right? Because like we didn't continue the license.
Well, they actually.
Yeah, but I did make sure to catch the dates. Like on SoundCloud, it doesn't show the dates, so you had to like go into like the source page information. The first episode aired on March 20th, 2019. Yeah, I said 13 earlier in the chat, but I meant it was really 20. My bad. Wait, hold on, wait, what?
All right,
what?
so.
Oh wait, are you saying? So did I wait? Huh? So did I say? Wait, how did this happen? What?
What?
Like I made the announcement today marks the 3-year anniversary, and I'm realizing now I think I messed it up. For some reason, I said March 13th, and I don't know why.
Dude, I actually can't pull that up. You're right, because we ended the SoundCloud. It says March 20th now in my notes section, and I can edit that because it's my post. But like, did I really just mess it up? And like, huh? Let me try to find it in the drive. Wait. No, but it wouldn't be the drive because I did it by myself. The sneak peek. Well, no, the episode 1 still. But when did episode 1 go up?
According to my notes, it was the 20th of March.
Wait, while you do that, I'm responding to a text on the anniversary episode because this is a relatively important text there.
Full episodes. Properties. You uploaded episode 1 on the 29th of April, so like it's definitely way after the actual episode debut. Let me go. You know what? Let me go find your first post, and because you advertised for it in NASMAR. Oh, you might have also. Well, you also might have put it in the announcements page, actually.
Oh no, it'd be in the server. It'd be in this server.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would have posted it everywhere. I would have bothered everybody. I have to like scroll back. I don't even know how to. I guess I could just search episode. Search episode oldest. Full first episode coming soon. Hello, Marvel Sports fans. I'm proud to present the first ever Marvel Sports podcast. Oh my god. Dude, I had a white and green logo. What? Does this link even exist anymore? You can't even hear it. That's so funny. It's posted on March 20th. The anniversary's not even come up yet. Wow. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I thought it was the 13th. I thought it.
Dude.
Well, you know what? You know what though? But when this episode comes out, maybe it'll be the anniversary.
No, I know it will. I will say now that for those listening, we will make sure we release this on the 20th, so that it's
Sweet
on the
Lord.
anniversary. I'm glad you messed it up because now we'll actually hit the anniversary.
That's so funny though. That's so funny.
Yeah, dude, it's the 20th. So that was the first. I thought it was the 19th, but I feel like when there's no way me being me, especially me back in 2019. There's no way that I released the podcast on the 2019th and on the 19th and forget to post an advertisement for it until the 20th. There's just no way that Marble Guy does that.
And my note does say like the 20th too, and I made sure to check the source pages. So if we both agree on this, it must be the truth.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty straight and forward. I could check the Reddit too.
Why did I say the 13th?
Because you probably just thought back a week.
Yeah, that's exactly a week, but why did I think that? There's a lot of 13s on the notes page for other anniversaries, so maybe I combined the 13 from one line with March on the other. Something like that, maybe. Are you still texting?
Yeah, well, yeah, sorry, something relatively important, so my bad. Of course, in the middle of the show, but it's important enough that I have to stop my anniversary. That's okay. We'll have Kason go through this one and edit, so it's fine. He'll cut off the dead air. This should be a shorter one anyway. I'm actually going to look up my profile. No, but did I change my profile?
On SoundCloud?
So. No, on Reddit, because I would have posted on the... I want to confirm, I want to cross-check. I want to cross-check days. Posts.
You might have done it on your older account, like your first one.
No, it would have been on Marble Guy, because I changed to Marble Guy before I started the podcast. Remember? It was X Camo, Marble Guy, and then the podcast. I'm just going back. I'm seeing if I can get episode 1. Getting back there. Getting back there.
Oh my gosh. Maybe I was just anxious about like, I don't want to miss anniversary dates. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's the 13th. Yeah, sure. Well, while you're doing that, maybe I'll reminisce a little bit.
First full episode, Marvel Sports Worldwide Podcast. The sneak peek. When did the sneak peek come out?
I don't know.
I just clicked on
like a day,
sneak peek. It just says 3 years ago. It doesn't say a date.
If you open it up, it'll probably tell you the exact date, right? Or
no, it doesn't. It just says 3 years ago.
Yeah, you'd have to check the source or something, which will take time. But we're celebrating 3 years, so let's like we know it's 2020, like the 20th of March. Now we know that. We know that. We know that what the real date is at this point.
I guess it's the 20th.
I remember the sneak preview coming out a day.
It doesn't tell me.
before.
It doesn't tell me when. It doesn't tell me what date. All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine.
I can check it for you later. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the episode's deleted off SoundCloud because I stopped my SoundCloud subscription because no one listened there anymore. Everyone listened to the other places. So I just I just know it's been 3 years ago. Well, it wouldn't have flipped to 3 years. Wait.
The sneak preview is still on SoundCloud, right?
No, it's just episode 100.
Oh yeah, it's just 100 for some reason. I guess they like, okay, fine, we'll let you keep the most recent one for some reason.
Yeah. For some reason it just left the most recent one. I don't know. Anyway, that's 3 years anniversary when you're listening to this. I don't know. All that to say, I don't know. Some of that will be cut. But yeah, that's it. The podcast has been going forever, right? We're going for 3 years. I can't believe it's been 3 years. I really can't believe it's been 3 years and we're still doing this. I really can't believe Marble Sports is still going after 3 years. It's really been something that's affected my life in a lot of ways that it's affected my life in a lot of ways outside of just a show. You know, it's helped me as far as how I communicate with people, and how I, you know, my perspective on communicating with people because of the show, and then because the people I met outside of the show, and because of all the mistakes I made over advertising the show, say, just running the show, getting used to the show, meeting new people, just all of that process. I learned so much in my life about that. All of that has just been, it really is crazy. Like, my life is so different if I don't do the show. My life is so not what it is now if I don't do the show. And so it's just been so important to me. It's just been so important to me. Man, I'm just thinking of all the ways that my life has been better or different because of the show. I'm at WAF. I started getting into broadcasting. Now I have 2 pretty steady broadcasting jobs on YouTube for toy racing. I communicate a lot better. I got into that podcast competition, which I then immediately lost first round because I didn't really... It was not for me. It was not for my type of podcast. I wasn't old enough or experienced enough to really understand what they were looking for, and I just didn't have the correct energy, because I'm more of like a podcasting for me is talking, right? Talking and getting my thoughts out, and other people who want to listen to particular thoughts like that find interesting. While, like, you know, the podcast competition was more about best example I can give for this straight off the top of my head is the No Sleep podcast. Go listen to that if you want to hear what that competition was more leaning towards. More scripted. Very scripted, because they read stories on like scary stories. More produced. There's music is created specially for each episode. You know, a lot more of that. A lot more voice acting and less just talking and speculating. And it's a completely different vibe. So, yeah, for me it's But there's just a lot that I've been able to do because of this. This podcast, gotta tell you guys, this podcast has been clutch in so many ways with outside of podcasting things. School applications, job applications. Like for example, when I applied to the co-op I'm in now, the internship I'm in now, they spent half the interview talking to me about the podcast and what I learned from the podcast and how cool they thought the podcast was. And like, wow, you started this. You can communicate because of this. You learned so much from this. My school, the school that I went to, this was in the application. They loved it, right? This came up in a lot of interviews for other schools that I applied for. I mean, this was a big deal because this was a way for me to show that I communicated and I was learning how to and whatnot. And it was just, it was great. It's just great. My life is shaped by this. I don't even know how to have the words. My life is what it is because of this, and it's so different without it. And man, it's crazy to look back and think this is still going for 3 years. It's crazy to look back and see that. Like right now, 3 years. What am I? 19? That is like a sixth of my life. A sixth of my life is branded by the show. That's crazy to me. And I just have to appreciate that. All right. I have to appreciate that. I mean, WAF, of course, is going to have another perspective, and I appreciate WAF so much. He's kept the show going, because if it was just me, I would go off the rails there. It would just be off the rails there. But I mean, it's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. But WAF, thoughts, man.
Yeah, no, you said a lot of what I was gonna say. I even have some new stuff though. Like, I'll say that I didn't think it would look that good on a resume. Maybe I'll consider doing that for myself because I've been struggling to get interviews, man. But it's the same for me. This show has shaped so much of my life. Like, I did this like out just like, you know, like, oh, this sounds kind of like you know, this is kind of cringy at times, and it can especially the first episode when it was just, it was getting a little bit dull, but it was still funny hearing this guy ramble about Marvels. You know, maybe I'll guest on an episode one time. It's like, you know what, that was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll come back for another one. And it's like, and I came back for another one, and then it's like, hey, you want to be the co-host? Like, okay. And so that happened, and as a result of that, I really got out of my shell, really participated in something that I had never done before. I actually learned how to audio edit. I did more impressive video editing as a result. I learned all this stuff. I learned more about how to actually do like those types of edits and stuff. But even beyond that, like more importantly, is like the community that I became a part of. Like, I made so many incredible, as far as I can tell, lifelong friends. It's 3 years is still nothing compared to a lifetime, but it's looking like these friends will be with me for the rest of my life, and it's all because of a Marvel podcast.
It's crazy.
And it's so insane that's how that happened. And shit, I like now, like before, like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I'm gonna say, but now I'm on the spot. It's hard to remember like everything you wanted to go over, you know, because it's just like just in the moment. Like there are so many things that this show has done for me, like, oh right, like this led me to get professional, like better microphones, and just using my earbud mic or my Oculus Rift mic for that one episode I did that for. But instead, like, I actually bought like a snowball mic, and now that I had a slightly more professional mic, he's like, you know, maybe I'll try actually doing some voice work. And so I auditioned for some stuff, and while my roles have been very sporadic just because of life and also because of and whatnot, like I've actually been participating in some professional voice work. A lot of it's still in production, but like
That's exciting.
I've provided my voice to several either comic dubs, abridged series, and then even the craziest thing, like episode 13 or 12, like I sang on the show because I didn't feel like it was good. The episode was good enough, so I did something that I knew that was like, it's probably be cringy, but that might actually be entertaining in its own right. And then it's like, you know what? Even though that was definitely bad, I actually kind of enjoyed that. So maybe I actually want to really like start trying something more serious. And then I did like the Silent Night cover, which was the worst cover I've ever done, hands down. But still, like that was like the next step. I was like, oh, I'm actually having fun here. And then each Wolf Tune after that, I'm like, okay, I'm like really actually trying. Like, I got really invested in like into doing singing, which is not something I would have done before. Like everyone, like I feel like most people like to sing, but like to actually like record yourself and put yourself on the air for everyone to hear and judge you, that's not something I would have done before that. Like, it's so wild, all the skills and opportunities that I have developed and gained just because of one podcast about a bunch of glass spheres that are like 16 millimeters in diameter rolling across the screen.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just goes to show you guys, like, if you have a crazy, because this is a crazy idea. This was just me having a crazy idea. Basically. So if you have a crazy idea, and you know what, you're like, that's kind of a crazy idea. That seems like a portion of work I'd have to put in. That seems like something that people might be like, I don't really want to ever listen to that or see that, or I don't care that you did that, you know. But if you just have it and you're like, this would be fun, this is like just something I at least want to try, you gotta go for it, because you don't know. You never. This is how I feel about things. You never know what the future holds, and with whatever you're doing. But if you put max effort in when you're doing it, then it can only yield. Well, if it is meant to work out, it can only yield good results. Because if you put no effort in, Or if you put limited effort, you're like, whatever, this is an idea, but probably not going to work out. You don't know. It could. It totally could. It might not. A lot of things don't work out. But it could. And if you didn't put the effort in, then you'd always be looking back thinking, well, what if I did? What if I actually put the effort in? Maybe it would have worked out. That goes across the board in my life. Across the board in my life. Take podcasts. I put a lot of effort into this. Obviously, I'm kind of very comfortable with this at this point, so it's not the max all my time effort I have to put in anymore. But I put in a lot of effort. I put in a lot of effort to get this thing going, to keep this thing moving, to get this thing kind of established. And I didn't know if this would still be going. I thought this would be over in a couple of years. I was like, you know what? But I still like it, maybe. And lo and behold, it's here. And because I don't know. I didn't know that I'd be sitting here 3 years later doing the show. I didn't. But if I didn't put that maximum effort in, I definitely wouldn't be sitting here. I mean, it transfers. Geometry Dash. I actually haven't streamed Geometry Dash in a while, and I've kind of fell away from the game. I put max effort in when I started that game. Because I didn't know. I thought, you know what? It is a possibility that I like this game, and there's a possibility that I could be a big YouTuber in this game if the chips fall in the right place. And in the future, and I have all this COVID time, but then I injured myself playing, I had to switch hands, blah, 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 the game got really hard, things got backed up, then college came in, and then work. My job now leaves me no time or energy, then I just kind of started to fall away from it, but I didn't know at the beginning. I didn't know if the effort was going to be worth it, and if you don't know, you have to put it in, because you just don't know. There are some good things that came from that, some good friends, some good experiences, some wisdom. You know, and it just goes across the board because you just don't know at the start. You just don't know. I didn't know that if I put max effort into my commentary work that I'd be able to steadily comment as a job that makes real money. I mean, real money. I mean, money. I mean, not like I can't make a living off of it, but right now, but it makes money. You know, commenting for these toy racing channels. You know, I didn't know that. I just knew that I liked doing it. And you know what? If I'm doing it, I might as well put all my effort in and try to get good. You know, and I got good enough that two channels were like, you know what? Not only do we want you, but we can't really do this channel anymore if we don't have this commentator. To the point where I got comments in the Races and Fun. If I miss a video, people comment saying, where is the guy doing the commentary? We need him.
Oh, that's great.
Because I put effort in. And I didn't know where it was going, but I know that it's possible it goes somewhere good. I knew it was possible. And because I knew that, I had to put, especially, you know, if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then probably don't put all your effort in because you're not going to enjoy putting all the effort in. But I enjoyed it, and I knew it could go somewhere, and I knew it definitely wouldn't if I didn't put my effort in, and that's what I did. And that's how I approach most things in life. Relationships kind of be similar. Man, I'm struggling with one right now, but that's besides the point. Basically, within that, but for other reasons. But basically, in that, same idea. You don't know if the person, like, let's you meet someone, girl, guy, whatever you're into. I gotta leave that at that. Whatever makes you happy, my man. My dudes, my people, my marbles there.
Oh my gosh.
What was I saying? Okay, yeah. So whoever you're into, and I mean, I when I say this, I kind of talk past. I mean, if you're under like 17, I mean, I guess this still kind of applies, but really not as much if I'm really honest with you. But I mean, whoever you're into, if you're into someone and you're like, you know what, you know, I really like this person and this could work. I mean, it may not. There might be reasons you can think of that it wouldn't work. You know, there might be reasons that think of that. You know, you think it could fail in the future because of this, or you guys just might be too different, or there might be some reason, religion, whatever. There might be reasons that you like, you know what, maybe it's not it, or maybe it's your first time in a relationship. So you're like, it probably no one's first one works out, you know. So you know, it's fair. Those are fair thoughts, but you got to put max effort in because you don't know. Because that's like I say, same thing with the podcast, same thing with other things in life. You look back 10 years. You might be with that person and be like, wow, I'm glad I put the damn effort in. I'm glad I put the time in. I'm glad I cared even when I didn't have to care. I'm glad I put extra effort in then because now this is working out now. And if it doesn't, you'll look back and be like, you know what? Well, I learned from the experience and now I'm ready for the next one. Never a reason not to put max effort in. You learn so much from it, and you know what? If it works out, you're like, you look back and you're like, I'm damn glad I did that, because I know if I even slipped for a second, this would not be where it is today. So that's how I look at things. That's the biggest thing I've learned from the podcast. One of the biggest things, besides also having how to communicate, you have to, when you go for something, you go for something. And sometimes you can go for things in the wrong way. Like putting max effort in does not mean, as Marble Guy did, over advertising or whatever. And all the silly things I did, the not so smart things, all of that. It means, because like you have to learn how the right way to do things. I mean, the right way to put that effort in. So be smart, be wise in what you do. But yeah, like effort pays off. Effort teaches you things if it doesn't yield results. And I just, all the things in my life that I started or got into independently have all shown me that in varying degrees. That it paid off. That I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put the time into this, and I'm gonna stick with this for a while, even though this seems like it could be silly. And who knows where this podcast will go in the future? But I know that I never want to look back and be like, you know what, man, I wish I just kept doing the show for another year just to see. You know, I don't want to look back in 5 years when Marble Sports maybe takes off into the billions there and be like, you know, I wish that I had stayed with it. So just, you know, that's my advice to you. That's the advice I bring you on the 3rd year anniversary. That is the key to, I mean, not necessarily having, I can get pretty sad. Not necessarily having happiest life, but having a life where you can at least say, you know what? Life is hard. Life is a struggle. Everything in life feels like a struggle, honestly. Everything in life, it feels like like nothing ever goes the way that you want it to go in your head. Nothing. I can guarantee that. Nothing that I imagine in my head or wish could happen in my head goes that way. There's always just something, and that's, I stress easily too, so everything stresses me out. I'm like, why are they saying that? Why are they doing that? Why are people like that instead of this? You know, I get like that. I get stressed out. Nothing is. But you can control what you do, right? Life's hard, but you can control what you do. And if you put your effort in, I mean, you're going to learn a lot. Something's going to pay off, all right? You have to. You have to. So that's 3 years anniversary. That's what Marble Guys learned from all that. Also, don't over-advertise your podcast. Also, no one gives a shit about your fan team unless you have a good name. Also, have someone else make the logo. But even then, if you come up with the name X Camo, it's not going to freaking win. It's just not going to win. Why'd you even pick it? X Camo? What is an X Camo? Nobody knows. That's why nobody voted for it, Marble Guy.
I'll get a little philosophical here, but also just a heads up, your pop filter or whatever is covering your face, so no one can see your face.
That's okay.
You're like that, like the anonymous interviewee, on those like shows, like the black bar, or the blacked out face, and like the voice changer. But yeah, like just to kind of summarize his thoughts on that, basically, it's better to have tried and failed than to have not tried and regret not even doing anything and like wondering what it could have been.
Yeah, and it's, well, just speak to that, because I just want to make sure I'm always clear with what I'm saying. But I
was just gonna add on.
Go ahead, add on. Why don't we let Wolf talk for a second there? I went a little crazy.
You talked for quite a bit there, so I'll give him my time.
We're at 43 minutes already? Crap, I know there's a little bit cut out. But,
dude. Yeah. Seriously, we could talk about anything for hours.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I think this show in our lives is a great example of like just how like almost anything can happen, and like if you're if you're like your religious or views may not be the same as mine, but like if you believe in a God, like you could even say that our lives are like the textbook definition of God working in mysterious ways. Like who would think that the opportunities that I got in my life would come from a Marble podcast? I never would have thought
it's
that.
Crazy, isn't it?
That's what happened.
I believe the same thing. That I don't know if I ever really talked about much on the show, because we're talking about marbles, so it really doesn't leave a lot of room for religion or politics. I don't like politics anyway, so that's definitely never been on. But you know, I'm a believer in God and Christ as well. So I mean that there's also been a lot of that where I've realized that the Lord has done a lot for me and pushed me in a lot of different directions. And the podcast was something where he used that to open a lot of doors and it met a lot of people and done a lot of things in their life and had real impact in their life because of the podcast and that. So I thank him for that. I'd be as thankful as I can to him for that all the time. But yeah, also one thing clear. It's not just deciding to do something. It's deciding to commit to something. Those are different things. Those are different things. Okay? It's one thing to be like, yeah, I'll do this. I'll just kind of do it. You know, I'll engage it every once in a while, you know, and, you know, or like, you know, like easy analogy, like in a relationship. Like, I mean, if you just do it, you hang out with them once in a while, whatnot. That's not going to work. That's not going to go anywhere because it's like you're not committing. You're not really committing to the experience. You're just like, whatever. And if it gets hard, I'll probably take a break, you know, no, that's just doing something. I'm talking like committing where you're like, you know what? I don't know where this is going or even if this is worth my effort, but I really want to do this. I like this. I like this idea. So I'm going to put all my effort in and put a lot of my brain energy into this until I know for sure that it's a failure or it's just not the door that's opening for me. And that's scary. Because honestly, there's part of me who really regrets all the time I spent on Geometry Dash to still not even get close to where I wanted to be with that game, and all that. There's a little part of me. I still like the game. But like, I spent a lot of time in that game and didn't really get near where I wanted to be. The channel didn't grow near where I wanted it to be. And so it can be bad sometimes. But, you know, on the other side of the coin, there's a lot of times where you put effort in, you really go for it, you really commit to something, and it like you're like, wow, I'm glad I committed to it, and I know that this would not have been here if I just kind of half-assed it. So keep that in mind. That's my life tip. That is my life tip. As I struggle with the very tip, but you know, that's a lot to say. I mean, it only leaves one simple question. I think we're gonna wrap this one up. But where's Marble Sports going? Where's Marble Sports going? Where's Marble Sports in 10 years?
Where is it going?
This is the question we'll end on. Where's Marble Sports in 10 years? MSWpodcast@gmail.com if you want to write in about this one, I'd appreciate it. Where is Marble Sports in 10 years?
I think a good way to answer that question is to look about what's happened in just these last 3 years. We've had Marbula 1, Marbula E, like an association with an actual racing league. We've had them like deals with being on TV. They've been on ESPN. They had Extreme Marble Sports, which pushed boundaries a bit more. And looking away from JMR, we had NASMARB come out. We had the experimentation of the M games, which while it didn't go very far, the ideas there were pretty extreme and might be used when Marblades was the thing for a brief moment, which is it's still the wildest thing that has ever come out of Marble Sports.
Marblades was amazing.
I love that so much. It's such a ridiculous idea. It's so dumb, and that's why it's amazing. Like, so much has happened. Like, it's had global recognition. Like there's just so much that could come of this. MSPN is not going to be around for much longer. They've been on a hiatus because they've been moving, and they just kind of want to make sure everything's ready to go so they don't have to actually take another hiatus. They just release it all in one go. So once MSPN gets its stuff out there, it's most likely not going to be around anymore. But like, there's always someone who can pick up that mantle and do their own iteration of NASMARB or marbles or in cars, because that's not something that Hershey is the only one capable of doing. Others can do that too. Like, people can then take that idea and run with it. Like, oh, we have race cars and marbles. Okay, well, how about skis and marbles? I don't know. Like there's gonna be like some massive innovations and wild new ideas that we've never seen before, and I think marble racing is gonna become more and more part of the public consciousness, to where it starts to become, in 10 years, we might actually just hear people talking about it as a regular, normal thing. Maybe. Well, that's my hope. I don't know if 10 years will be the timetable on that, but that's my hope that we do hear that.
what do I think is going to be in 10 years? That's a good question. 2032 is the year, right? The year of question.
Yes.
I mean, like Waf said, so many crazy things have happened already, but so much that it's hard to process. This thing started in 2016. It's about 5-6 years later. It went up, it went down. Where are we at? My inclination, because marble sports is such a palpable and new and unique idea, it's not something silly, and it's not produced in a silly way by the most popular channels. So it doesn't seem like something that will just die away as a YouTube trend. It doesn't seem like that's necessarily the direction, unless gel stops in the next couple of years, because then it will just not have, without gel kind of existing for a while, then things will be bad because there won't be anything else too big to kind of carry the torch. You need gel to be there for a while. Let RML work its way up, and then establish. But I think that we had it started. We after it started, it was good for a little bit. Then we had an extreme fad trending. Everyone jumped on it. Right? Everyone got after it. They loved it. People wanted to watch it. Millions of subs flying out of nowhere. Like the pinkies flying into the stand collision there. Sorry.
2 pinkies flying into the stands.
But yeah, it was crazy. Then the trend ended and COVID ended. So people were like, I want to get back outside. I want to get back to real sports. It's not as marbles. And it died away. It died down. And I know a lot of JMR views. They still get a lot of views. If I ever got 50,000 views on a video, I would go bananas. I would go bananas right here. That's a lot of views. Some of their videos, they still get a bunch that are in the 100,000s, few 100,000. So, they're still doing fine. But it definitely is down from where it used to be. But I think that because of what marble sports is, and because the people that are doing it are still passionate about it, there'll be a slow growth. The next growth will be slow, but it'll be steady. It'll be consistent. People will start to be like, wow, I remember this thing back in 2016. And it's still going. Let me see where it is. Oh, wow. They're pretty professional with this now. They got all these different tournaments running. Some of these people even got the FIDA leagues. They're going all over the place with this thing. I gotta be involved. I gotta watch. Enough with football. Same team wins every... No, actually, no. Football's great, okay? Enough with the NBA and LeBron James and the Lakers. Literally... I don't know anything about the NBA, so I can't really say that. I actually like football, and I know nothing about the NBA. So those are bad analogies. Enough with other sports besides marble sports is what I'm trying to say. But where am I? No, but people are gonna come over, and people be like, "Wow, this thing has longevity. Let's come watch." Wow, I actually can get back into this. It's even better than it was when I watched it before. Greg Woods, Marble Guy, come on, man. Those voices, they'll be coming back, and it will steady growth. And I think by 2032, that's 10 years from now. 10 years from now, I'll be long out of college. I'll have a house. I'll probably have a house by that point, like a house.
I feel like I probably will too. Honestly,
yeah.
At that point, 10 years from now.
Honestly, I can just
34,
see...
man.
That's crazy. You're old.
I'm very old.
I can just see it being in a great place. I can see it actually having steady growth. It may not be crazy. It may not be TV everywhere, Monday night, marble night. But I think it will have a solid, more quantifiable community that looks towards numbers in the millions. Because it's just too fascinating. And if you give it time, because time is what brings people into something. Time. If something's around for a while, people will be fine with it. Not the whole world. The whole world is not going to convert to marble sports. But most people can be like, I prefer sports with actual people. But there's going to be a group. Right? Think about stuff at the supermarket that you never buy, but someone must be.
Yeah.
Because it's still being sold. Knockoff brand, those weird knockoff brand Oreo things. I don't even like Oreos. Bad example. those weird knockoff brand Malomars. People buy Malomars once a month. So if you're buying the knockoff brand Malomars, wow. But they've been around, they've been in stores forever. So people buy them. Someone buys them. Someone buys them. They still sell them. I mean, if something's around for a while, some people will latch onto it, okay? So I think that Marble Sports, if still in existence by 2032, will have a decent community. Maybe this podcast will grow a little more there, and we'll see where that leads. But I have hopes, and I think that the two big channels right now that are really putting all they're committing that max effort, like I was talking about before. I think they just got to keep doing it, and we'll see where it goes. JMR and RML, Fubeca, I'm gonna hold out on talking to them for a while longer.
Yeah, we'll see. Imagine, dude, like. In a few years, like, we have our own kids, and like and we watch Marble Sports with them. Imagine that, dude.
That would be crazy. I can't even think about having kids. I can't even imagine having kids. Like,
you aren't sure if you're gonna have kids?
No, like I'm going to, but it's hard to imagine like what that looks like. Like me now, I'm just a silly guy doing a Marvel podcast. Having kids, that means this is what it means if I've had kids. That means some woman liked me, which happens. I'm pretty good with the ladies, but decided I want that guy over all the other guys. That won't have that happens. That's crazy. Who would? They have to deal with this every week. They have to be out in the house listening to this every week.
They'd at least need to be like on Wolf level of temperance.
And then, Wolf only has to do this for an hour a week. You know, and then they'd have to stay with me for a while. I don't know.
For quite a bit.
It's crazy to imagine. But some poor soul, right?
Some poor soul.
Some unlucky bachelorette, whatever you want to call her. Idiot. Sorry, that's terrible. But I mean, come on.
Anyway.
There's a lot of other options. She's probably not the brightest if she's choosing this marble motherfucker. All right.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, man.
I think we're rambling here.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm just talking. But no, this is the show for rambling, though. This is the show for rambling. This is the show where I'm like, this is so meaningful, man. This is a part of life. Well, like if someone asked me when I'm 80, you know, and I forget most of my life at that point because I'm 80, but someone was like, all right, sum up your life in a little while. Just I'll sit here for an hour. I have to wait for my kid to be done with soccer, so I'll sit and listen to this old guy for an hour. Sum up your life in 1 hour. The podcast would make it in by far to that 1 hour story. You know,
yeah.
That's how much it means at this point. So, I mean, yeah, that's all I got. Marble Sports, I think we'll be going. Strong. I don't know if it'll be huge, but it'll be steadily growing by this next wave. So, I'm hoping.
This is the most important question, though. MarbleCon 2025 still gonna be possible?
No, it's not happening. I don't think so. Because this is what I think based on the channels. I think MarbleCon is possible and can happen and almost will happen, but it won't be run by JMR. It'll be run by RML.
Oh.
But because Bill will do that, I can tell. I just get the sense by who Bill is. That Bill will do that. If it got big enough where he could do that, he would do that. Also, I help him a lot. So I would really be involved in that. And we would all be older, it'd be easier to put on. But his channel has to be big for that to happen. He has to really be established Marvel Sports. I don't think Gel would ever get to the point where he'd be putting that on. I think I don't know. Just hard for me to see that happening. I don't think he would put it on. I mean, maybe he though I guess I can't say that because I feel like JMR could also get a sponsor who would be interested of like, hey, we want to put on a convention for this. A sponsor whose idea is to kind of branch out like that. So I guess it's possible. I think that if it's MarbleCon 2025, if that really does happen, it's JMR and it's sponsor run. It's run by some other sponsor and JMR just lets it happen. And it's somewhere and you have to go. It's inconvenient. If it's later on, if it's dependent on the creator of a channel running it, I'd lean more RML and if they grow to where they need to be. But MarbleCon 2025. I hope so. I wished. I thought it was a lock, but then things kind of flipped around a lot in JMR.
Yeah, I think this just as we've learned from living this life, nothing goes as you expect it. You don't expect this to be a big deal. It ends up being a big deal. You expect something to happen. It's not going to happen.
Facts. That's how life be, man. And I stress so much about the future and what's going to happen and about what I care about right now and how, about how that how it's going to turn out in the future. And, things are important to me when they're important to me. And so I stress a little too much. You can write that down if you want, if you thought that was funny. I'm just being serious. Like, when they're important to me, they're important to me, right? I mean, and so it's hard for me not to stress about the future, right? Like that. But anyway, man, it's been great. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going for a while there. Because podcasts are easy, especially the way we do it. We don't script them all and everything. We're just talking. We're two friends talking, and we want you guys to just be friends talking. That's why we want you to email in so much, because we want you to just be talking to us. How's your week going? How's your marble thoughts? What's going on in your life? And we just want to connect with you and make that community, and also sprinkle a lot of marbles in there too. Sprinkle marbles, because that's the topic of the show. But I think that's good. Wav, any closing thoughts? If not, I'm gonna bring this away.
Closing thoughts. Make this really monumental. I honestly can't think of anything that we haven't already said. We talked a bit. We're over an hour on an episode that had no marble news.
No,
that's just serious. I feel like even if the MSW ends, we might just do a podcast with something completely else. It's different,
Maybe.
Wolf and Brendan talk about life or something.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Though I hope MSW doesn't end, because I like MSW. I do. Also, it'd be awkward to transition to something where there's no marbles at all. That'd be weird.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird for us.
Hey, you never know.
How
now that you float the idea, just float it into the open. I mean, there's a possibility, right? All right. Well, that's the podcast, guys. I'm going to let Waff take us out here. Or maybe I should, because this is my 3-year anniversary. Waff's 3-year anniversary is not for another 2 months, I don't think. Yeah. I think his is you have to check, April something.
If you count my guesting episode or my day I became the official co-host, either one.
Probably guesting.
I do the anniversary of my co-host
since
day.
you no, because you weren't on every episode, so you have to do official co-host day. Yeah.
Yeah, I skipped one episode. It was the 10th episode.
Official co-host day, the 10th episode. So it'll be a couple months till WAF's anniversary. So I'll get to bring us out for the first time in a long time. Get to do the WAF outro, and here it is. Roll on, Marvel sports fans.